Thank you for joining us. This four-part special presentation features experts from GG+A, the leading global consulting firm for philanthropy, discussing Giving USA, the annual report for philanthropy. My name is Dan Lohman. I'm joined today by my colleague Lori Musgrove, who spent more than 30 years in major gifts and executive leadership roles in higher education as well as arts organizations. Lori joined GG+A in 2006 and currently leads GG+A's education practice. Lori, thanks for being with us today.
You're welcome, Dan. It's my pleasure.
Nearly 3 out of $4 given last year came from individuals, and that number rises to 4 out of $5 if bequests are included. What does this mean for staffing in development offices?
There is an implication for staffing, but I think it really is also a question of philosophy among particularly our major and principal gift officers, and thinking about how best to maximize contributions from our constituents. And this can often be done through blended gifts that would include both lifetime giving as well as some sort of planned or deferred gift that would augment the amount that can be given to a particular program or the institution overall. Of course, we want to make sure that we have some subject matter experts in the area of planned and deferred giving or gift planning to work with our major gift and principal gift officers in developing the correct vehicle for a particular prospective donor.
Do college communications offices need to devote resources to foundation and corporate support given its percentage of the total, or should they focus on individuals?
I think it's important for all three sectors, but particularly foundations or corporations, for the communications office to be a partner in developing the image or reputation of the institution, as well as being able to articulate the case and the niche that the college or university or independent school may offer that may be of interest and align closely with the funding priorities of a foundation or corporate entity.
In 2014, nearly $55 billion was given to education, though that's only 15% of the total in philanthropy across the country. Do you see increased competition from other nonprofit sectors outside of education?
Yes, there's certainly increased competition. When we look at the actual dollars that have been given over the last 40 years, almost every sector has had an increase and a significant increase in dollars given. And this ranges from arts and culture to the environment to health. It's important to note, however, that when you look at the percentage of giving that goes to each of these sectors, they have held relatively flat during that period of time. Over the last 20 years, for instance, higher education has remained pretty much at 14 to 15% of the total given, and this includes health care has held fairly steady around 11 to 12%, et cetera. So the real dollars are certainly going up, but the distribution of those dollars among various sectors are holding fairly steady.
Given that 85% of charitable dollars are given outside of education, are educational institutions better off focusing on their core focus of education, or should they be promoting the role they can play in areas such as the environment, health, arts and culture, or international affairs?
It depends on the institution's areas of real expertise, depth of knowledge, depth of expertise, and frankly, the track record. If you're a college and are trying to position your expertise in the environment, for instance, with a foundation, it's going to be important that you're credible and you have some evidence that there's an area it's an area of excellence that can grow. Now, having said that, of course, some institutions do want to begin new programs. And again, the business plan that would relate to for instance, establishing a new school of the performing arts, needs to demonstrate exactly how the institution is going to get from point A to point B, again, in a pretty credible fashion.
Giving from all sources increased substantially last year, including a big jump from corporations from -9% to positive nearly 14%. Is this one good year, or is this part of a larger trend in the way money's given?
Well, we hope it's a trend. That growth in contributions from corporations is tied to their profitability and to the economic environment in which they're operating. So if those things hold steady, and if our institutions continue to align themselves appropriately with the interests of these corporations, we would hope the trend could continue.
2014 set a new record for giving to education. Not only were the dollars as high as they've ever been, but the rate of growth has returned to pre-recession levels. How sustainable is this, and what are the key challenges facing educational organizations that could slow down or even reverse this trend?
Well, for individual institutions, I'll go back to the importance of the case for support. Are we credible? Are we defining the impacts that are going to result from a philanthropic investment in such a way that the donor feels it's an opportunity for them to make a difference? I think obviously giving is tied directly to the health and the mental, the sense among our prospective donors that their wealth is holding and that it's not declining. So we all hope that things like the stock market continue to hold steady, if not grow, over time.
And finally, what can we learn from the most successful organizations that are driving this unprecedented level of support? What are the best organizations doing that other organizations should try to learn from?
Again, defining their impact. What differentiates institution A from institution B, and does that impact appeal to our prospective donor? How confident is the prospective donor in the business plan that is associated with a particular opportunity to fund an institution? Planning and investment. We all know that you can't turn development on and off. There has to be a sustained investment in staff and in resources, and of course a willingness of leadership, both institutional leadership, campus leadership, and volunteers to be active participants.
Lori, thanks so much for taking the time to share your insights with us. We appreciate your contributions very much. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.